Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Telegraph Herald, More Than the Score. I'm your host Steve Ortman. Alongside me, like every week, Tim O'Neill. What? Not Tim? What? Whoa, man! Brandon West?
I'm back.
Back in the house! Woo!
Back in the saddle again. Let's do this.
Whew. Gosh, I needed a break from Tim.
Yeah.
This is a relief.
Most of the time. Most of the time you kind of need that once in a while.
But you have not had any less excitement out on the fields that Tim has been having the last couple of weeks. Loras and UD, the Key City Clash. It was a classic. Brendan, take us through that one.
Yeah, well, Loras actually spotted Dubuque 21 points, and I mean, nothing against the recent history from this rivalry, but I actually kind of thought it was on its way to another blowout. You know, UD the last 2 years especially has been really handing it to Loras. You know,
Six straight for the Spartans in the series.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, a lot of people, you know, I think maybe wrote the Duhawks off, but you know, slowly they started chipping away. Midway through the second quarter, chipping away. They get a late touchdown to end the half, and then you know, all of a sudden, they're able to bring it within 3 points. They get the ball back with under 2 minutes to go, deep in their own territory. Bob Kelly with a great drive, orchestrating a nice drive. He goes 7 for 10 on that drive, gets him all the way down to Dubuque's 31, setting up Mason Quigley for a game-tying 48-yard field goal, and then this happened. Yeah, so unfortunately, Loras comes out on the short end of that game. They fall 27-24 to Dubuque, but I gotta tell you, as you said earlier, it was an instant classic there. You know, this is a team that went 1-9 last year. Dubuque is always up there in the conference, so I think that's a sign that they're ready to go and hang with the upper echelon of that Iowa conference. So that could be a building block, even though it was a loss, and you know, everybody on both sides of the ball played really hard, so it was great. That's not the only time Loras and UD met this week, though, is it? I heard they had some good competition out there on the tennis courts as well.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean?
Just kidding. Yes, tennis courts. UD and Loras over at the Farber Courts on the campus of the University of Dubuque. Loras and Dubuque met up on Tuesday, and the Duhawks came out on top of that one, 6-3. They have a freshman playing number 1, Audrey Hins, great player for Dubuque Wahlert. She came in as a freshman, earned the number 1 spot for the Duhawks. She's been having a great season, but she ran into a buzzsaw at number 1 singles today, Arancha Martinez. This season for the Spartans at number 1 singles, number 1 doubles, she became the program's career leader in career victories. She has, after Tuesday's double win, she picked up wins in singles and doubles. She has 107 career victories, 63 in singles, 44 in doubles. Virtually every record you can have for the UD women's tennis program belongs to her. I caught up with Martinez on Tuesday after the wins, and here's what she had to say about becoming the greatest player, really, in program history. Meet against Loras here today. You pick up career wins 106 and 107. And as a leader now, what does it mean to you to be up there and also be leading this team?
Well, what can I say? There's not a huge difference, I would say. I mean, yeah, there are wins, but I couldn't achieve this if it wasn't for my teammates. They are a really part, how can I say, piece of this puzzle. They've been always there for me since my freshman year to now. I mean, the team completely changed because freshman year I was the only freshman pretty much, and then sophomore year everyone was gone. So, I mean, I transitioned to different teams, which is like kind of tricky, but at the end I think it's really nice to like sort of go through that process and knowing more people and try to like be there for them. It's pretty awesome.
You know, Steve, I've actually met Arancha before, and she's a high-character girl and, you know, certainly deserving of all the accolades she receives, terrific tennis player.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's hard sitting in this chair, replacing the great Tim O'Neill for an episode. But even so, we can't leave these chairs unless we talk about prep football and the games that you were covering last week. So take it away.
Boy, you're right, Brendan. I covered a humdinger, a thriller, a classic. Cascade Cougars last Friday night. Upset Class 2A, second-ranked walk-on, 25-20. Cascade ranked number 7. This is one of the games of the week in the state of Iowa. Number 7 versus number 2. Highly touted matchup, and boy, did it live up to expectations. Like I wrote in my story, really, it was a game. It's what prep football is all about. No quit, no relent. Two teams just going back and forth with the will to win and want to win this football game. And boy, it was a great matchup. Cascade took a 19-8 lead in the third quarter, but walk on a span of 34 seconds of game time, 2 touchdown passes by Abe Schwartz, who had been struggling to that point against a very good Cascade defense. They take a 20-19 lead with 9 minutes to go. Boy, Cascade calmly, very coolly, drive right back down the field, 64 yards, and Harris Hoffman hits Johnny Supel for the 21-yard touchdown pass, ended up being the game winner,
Wow.
25-20. Cascade defense played terrific, had 3 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions, and 3 huge fourth down stops. Cascade improved to 4-0, 2-0 in the district. They certainly have that inside track. Walk-on was expected to be the biggest test. They have the inside track to a district championship and certainly a playoff spot. So, and it shows in the rankings now. Walk-on dropped from 2 to 7. The Cougars go from 7 up to number 4. So
Wow.
Cascade making some noise in the state now, and we'll see what they do. They got Monticello at home here coming up on Friday night, which should be another interesting district test. And
You know, we've actually had a lot of really strong starts to the season here. Bellevue, I think, is still undefeated.
Yeah.
You know, we over on the Wisconsin side, I know Platteville's been putting up tons of points.
Yeah.
So I mean,
5-0.
but Cascade from the beginning has really impressed me. Just by the way, I think it was until week 3 that somebody finally scored against them. You're talking
Yeah.
about that stout defense. So what a victory for them. That has to be definitely a highlight over some recent seasons here.
yes, and Dubuque Senior off to a great start as well. There's just some big district matchups across the board this Friday night. We'll have them all covered for you. Going up and down the line, you've got Dubuque Wahlert Thursday night visiting Davenport Assumption. You've got Seniors going to be playing at home. And boy, you've got Bellevue going to West Branch, a huge matchup in that district. Like I said, Cascade's hosting Monticello, and Dyersville Beckman is going to play LaPorte City Union. So just some great matchups. I mean, I can just keep going and going. In Wisconsin, Platteville is hosting Prairie du Chien, 2 5-0 teams undefeated in
Right.
the SWC. So it's going to be great coverage. We'll have it all for you. We'll jam in as much as we can into the print edition, as well as it'll be all up online at telegraphherald.com. And don't forget, how can we forget? Friday night, 11-ish, maybe a little sooner. We're going to be up on Facebook Live and the Telegraph Herald Facebook page, breaking it all down. I'm hoping that I'll be back soon enough to make it in for this week's episode. But if not, you guys will do a great job.
Yeah,
Well, you'll
well-
do a good enough job.
Well, the thing I like the most about it is you guys don't have to wait a whole week to see our beautiful faces. You can go see them live every Friday night.
Live, baby. And
Live.
you never know what's going to happen live. You never
Exactly,
know. That's
exactly.
right. Anyways, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Telegraph Herald. More Than the Score. I am your host, Steve Ortman, alongside Tim O'Neill. I'm sorry. Alongside Brendan West.
That's right. Be West.
All right, that's enough. We'll see you next week.